Hello friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. Welcome to Make and Take Tuesday. This is the week when we're going to do our flower of the month for February, and I'll reveal that to you in just a minute. But first I want to show you the paper collection we're going to be using. This is Simple Stories Remember, and this is a very soft, very elegant paper collection. I have the 6x8. It's great for get well. It's great for sympathy. It's great for encouragement cards. And it is, as you can see, completely gorgeous with these shades of slate blue and kind of a taupey gold and these soft, creamy kind of cameo pinks. It's really, really beautiful. So I thought you would want to see the paper. This is the 6x8, which is always a little bit different than the 12x12. And then it just repeats. You get 24 6x8 papers, 2 of each pattern. But then I also got a few of the 12x12s because I wanted the 3x4 images. And this has this pretty floral on the back. And I wanted these journal card images, which has these little, what are these? Asphaganthus? I'm not sure. And then the tags. So, and then I wanted this mixed up cut apart piece that has all the different sizes because these come in handy. So that is our paper collection. And our flower of the month is Spellbinders, Queen Anne's Lace and Ladybugs. This is one of Susan's garden dies. And I was given the opportunity to work with this, and I was very excited. It's basically 4 dies, and you cut 2 of this size to make 1 flower, and 2 of this size to make 1 flower, and 6 or 7 of these little posies, which sounds like a lot, but I'm going to show you it's quite easy. And then the little ladybugs. So let me clear some space and I'll go to work showing you how to make this lovely Queen Anne's lace flower. So here's one completed flower. I used to love these when I was a little girl growing up in Vermont. They just grew wild on the side of the roads and in the fields. And in the summertime, they were so beautiful. You could just pick a bouquet of them, and they really did look like lace. I think that Susan's garden has done a good job of representing these in this die. So this is a completed one, and you can see I've got all the little blossoms on there. This is how it starts. You have this base, and you have this base, and these overlap. And you can make these as full or as not full as you please. This background paper is actually, when I was making Christmas cards, I was spraying all these various leaves and things and palm trees and all kinds of stuff for nativity scenes. And I had this piece of very, very lightweight cardstock down on my table to protect my work area. And as I began to work with it and spraying it with the green and then some gold, I came in and I spattered all my stuff with white, and the mat underneath was so beautiful. I ended up keeping it. It's actually one of the covers to Graphic 45's Flower Market collection. And I just had used all the paper, so I kept the covers. I oftentimes will do that and use them as little protective mats on my work area. But I want you to see, look how beautiful that turned out. Really pretty. It was too pretty with all the different mists and sprays and spattered paints on there for me to want to throw it away. So this is what I die cut the bases, the flower bases, and these little greenery pieces out of. And you could, you could do the same thing just by using inks and mists and spattered paint, or you could just use plain cardstock. Either way, looks really good, but I just had held on to this and thought this was a good opportunity to use it. So after I made my little Queen Anne's lace, I also made myself some of my homemade mica spray. I just put some Perfect Pearl mica powder in here with some water and shook it up, and you can spray it over your project, and it does a really good job, and it costs very, very little. It just takes a couple of teeny tiny little scoops of the powder, and you can see it just added a nice little, I hope the camera picks it up, a nice little shimmer. So I'm going to show you. Here's one that is in the works. This is the smaller of the two bases, and I've gone ahead and started this one. I'm going to show you very quickly the center of each of these. Get my Sharpie pen working, okay. Has a little dot in it, and I didn't even use a flower shaping tool. I just used my Sharpie pen, pressing into the center to make that little dot, and that shaped my flowers at the same time. So it doesn't get any easier than that. And this is just a black Sharpie pen. So those are all set to go. You saw how easy that was. Here's one that needs done. Okay. Then I'm going to come in with my adhesive. And I'm using Art Institute Dries Clear adhesive. When you shape, I do shape this part. And let me move this little silicone pad out of the way. This is the Spellbinders flower shaping kit. And you can remove the styluses by just pushing this little cap back and putting them in place, and then it will catch. So I just basically kind of push like this to kind of shape those stems a little bit. And I don't want them too much. I'm going to press this one back out. But that's a good way to get started with shaping these. So I'm just going to show you the method I use to add these little blossoms to these stems. I found it's easiest to do one stem at a time. And because this is Dries Clear adhesive, I just covered the entire little branch. I'm sure these have a name. All of you botanists and flower gardeners out there, you can tell me in the comment section what the name for these is. So I use my little offset detail tweezers to pick up the blossoms. And I just put them on like that. And no two will be the same, but that's the way you want it, because in nature, no two things are exactly the same. I'm going to maybe tuck this one in. So there's one done. So I'm just going to finish this one up and show you another one. I leave the center blank so that the green comes through. And I just cut these out of really a text weight paper, not printer paper, but like a little lighter than, probably lighter than 65 pound. It was just like a nice light paper, and I thought this will make very airy looking little blossoms, and it does. So you can see this goes a lot faster than you would think it would. All right, and there you see I got one that didn't get, because I die cut these in 2 layers at the same time because I was using such light paper. So this little one right here needs a dot in the middle. There we go. All right, so now what we do, this one is completed. This one needs another layer. I'm going to press into the center here to get some lift. I'm going to use my fingers to just kind of turn these out. And I can see I've had some of the double layers fall off. We can fix that later. I'm going to put my adhesive down in the center, and I want to stagger this. That's so pretty. So there we go. And then to finish it off, I'm going to come in. We've got these little openings and put this little greenery bit in, sort of like this. But I think these will be so pretty on a sympathy card because they're light and airy and soft. And that is what I'm going to do now, is go make a sympathy card. Here's my mist. Give it a little shake. Make sure your nozzle is pointing the way you think your nozzle is pointing. Give it a little spray. Now's a great time to come in and shape anything that you want shaped. And then heat it with your heat gun. All right, I'm going to set these aside and I'm going to make my card and come back and show you what I've done. All right, friends, here we are all finished up. There's our beautiful Queen Anne's lace. And then I added to this, because I really love to mix and match colors and shapes, this beautiful magnolia blossom and these sweet little mini gardenias. This is moss seam binding ribbon with a little bit of iridescent metallic ribbon. I kept this super simple because I think sympathy cards should be, there's just a little belly band here with this soft petal pink die cut. This is a Spellbinders Amazing Paper Grace die. A little bit of buttons, some stick pins, and a few rhinestones on the doily. This sentiment is cut from that little mixed images page that has the 2x2s, and I just used a die to cut it and then put it behind the open part of the doily and added the rhinestones. And then inside, I've just got this simple floral, and down here in the pocket, a little tag that says Love Lives On, and this little tea caddy. There's honey crystals in there. So very simple, because I think sympathy cards should be soft colors, very soothing colors. And that is our flower tutorial of the month using Spellbinders Queen Anne's lace from Susan Tierney-Cockburn's garden. And I hope I shared some tips and tricks that you enjoyed and that you'll be able to use in your own crafty adventures. And I actually have a whole Queen Anne's lace left over for another project, so that will be fun. All right, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to give this video a like, share it with your friends, give it subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with another tutorial on Thursday. Thanks, friends. I'm gonna go get my craft on. Bye.